Conjuring 2 is a film directed by James Wan and stars Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Now, this is the sequel to the 2013 smash hit, The Conjuring. And for those you who don't know, the first Conjuring was a film about a family that discovers that there is a demon inside their house, and they call in a special paranormal investigators called the Warrens, who are a team of people who deal with the supernatural and have to exorcise ghosts. And lo and behold, I really enjoyed the first Conjuring a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought the first one, what I really liked about the first one was Conjuring. You get these rare movies. Oh, they're not really rare. You come out all the time. You got people doing all these like thriller, suspense, ghost movies. A lot of them go PG-13, which it's kind of hard to really do a good PG-13 ghost movie, and a lot of them do come out like shit. And
yeah,
not really that good. And Conjuring was a movie I gave it a shot because, you know, there was a lot of failed attempts to these type movies that year. So I gave it a shot, and behold, that was like one of the first ones I ended up liking fully because a lot of them, like I said, turn out to be like crap.
Exactly, and especially with the first film, it was cool to see a good horror film in years that didn't rely on jump scares.
And it was cool because, unlike most of these ghost movies that failed at the rate, this one tried an R one.
It did.
And yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of like brutal stuff in the first one.
Yeah.
But they still kept the overall disturbing things really good for the R rating.
Yep.
So I put that on my list of one of the best horror films of that year.
Yeah. Until we got the crappy Annabelle the next following year.
Yeah, it's that Annabelle one I watched, and it was quite a disappointment. It's like I went to like, yeah, this one looks like it would be cool, but I was like, oh man, that was not that good.
Yeah.
So we get this Conjuring film, which brings back not only the director of the first one, but also the main leads. You got Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga come back, and this time, the story goes that the Warrens are discovering a case previously where Lorraine, she discovers that there's an entity that's haunting her in her visions, and so after that spiel happens in the first case, there's a story unfolds to another case that goes on where a group of family called the Hobsons
live in England,
and they discover that there's also a demon in their house, and so they have to call in the Warrens for this one as well. And I can say that here's my pros for the film. I love the direction they go in this film. This film looks and feels like a 70s authentic, old school supernatural film that you would have saw at a drive-in theater or something back in the 70s. And I also love the way they pan the shots, where a lot of dolly shots where the camera is just solely focusing on one character going through a room and stuff.
Yes.
And I also enjoy the mood they build to get to when they actually they structure the plot along.
Yeah, I do like the plot. I enjoyed the plot. I like the people that play in this. The girl, all of them did so well. I also like the direction that it was the camera's direction, the way he followed the actors throughout some of the shots.
Yeah,
he did really good. I love the visuals. They didn't do very bad at all on how these monsters look. They look pretty creepy.
They did, especially with some of the effects they used.
Yeah,
because
they do use a stop motion mixed with CGI scene. They did it on his one. He's one of few entities that's in this house.
Yeah,
and he, and they don't go into detail with him, but it's something that the main entity's trying to scare people with.
Yeah.
And this thing kind of remind me of Nightmare Before Christmas, that tall thing. He
it
kind of looked like
Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington, yeah. Well, anyways, I love the visuals. I like how they did that. I love some of the creepiness with the cross and all that. I enjoyed that.
There are some good genuine scares in this film, more so in the first film, because
you know what I also liked? I also really got into the I like the Christmas theme with this. They kind of did a really Christmas theme.
They did. There's
theme with the music and just the Christmas tree. It's very Christmassy, and you know what? We could have waited December for this, but it's all right to come out right now. I enjoyed it.
I can say that, because it kind of gave like a Krampus kind of feel, where if the film would have been centered solely on Christmas, it probably would have come out in December.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the visuals, like you said as well, especially how they pick up the shots with some of the demons, because the lighting is so good that you can't hardly tell if it's CGI.
I like its dark
or if it's
the grayness.
Yeah, the grayness, the bleak look they have.
Yeah, I do
and
like
everything.
that. Yeah.
And I also love how the story goes with it, because you're seeing things that happen with we follow a story arc that happens with Lorraine, but also with with her husband Ed,
Yes.
and the family as well. So I also enjoyed the fact that you fleshed out these characters really well too, because we're not only getting their story, but you also get to know some of the other characters who are just regular people.
Yes.
You know, and I also love the performances. I thought both the Warrens were really good. I thought they were really emotional. They carried a lot of the weight to the roles.
Yes, and I do enjoy some of the little small comedy they had.
Yeah, they
That's
did
some
have
very
some funny dialogue. Like that
timing.
part at the beginning where he's getting all stressed out, and he's like, I know, I'm counting to 10.
Yeah.
You know,
I had some funny scenes, where they kind of throw a little kind of calmness before they get scare the shit out of
yeah.
you.
And also, I enjoyed the score as well. The score,
I love the score.
Where it puts a lot of great intense moods, where it picks up a lot of its suspense and everything, and it really puts you in that kind of mindset, like you would watch something out of the 70s.
Yes.
And another thing, go back to the scares again, you can also see that they time their scares right. Because unlike a lot of films nowadays where they do a lot of those cheap jump scares, this one, they actually do a lot, much like the first one, they do a lot of good built-in suspense moments where they keep you really on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Now, I jumped quite a bit in this one.
Yeah.
Here are my cons for the film. Now, I don't have many cons for this movie, but I can say two of the things that kind of bothered me a little was I kind of feel like could have had a better climax, because we're not going to go into details at all, but they build up when they actually get to their final climax. It probably could have been a little better, but I still liked what they did with it. And also,
it could have been a lot better because that really bothered me in the climax. I'm not saying that this movie is broken because of the end. It's just I was a little disappointed that we're upping the ante here on a villain and supposed to be worse than the first one, and I felt like the creature was pretty much defeated so easily, simply, and that bothered me. It was not like they kind of did better in the first one with the whole having a hard time getting that creature.
Yeah.
And then this one was just pretty much just simple, and that kind of bothered me a little bit.
I mean, they did do a lot of good build up to it, but you're right. They could have had a better climax for it.
Yes.
It was similar to what happened with Annabelle, but this one's better than fucking Annabelle.
Better than Annabelle, yeah.
But anyway, another thing I also had a problem with was, it's just a minor thing, but they do some of the cliche jump scares in moments where you kind of predict are happening.
Yes.
But they don't do it quite as much as you think it is. Because a lot of times, they do a lot of good suspenseful moments and intense parts where you don't see it coming at all.
Yeah. And in my con to it didn't bother him too much. I love the dialogue and the plot. The pacing wasn't really bad, but there were some parts where I was kind of really getting a little bit bored on, but it paid off later in the movie. It started getting better. It's just that some of the scenes, I felt like they stretched it out a little bit, but it wasn't noticeable where it's going to really mess the movie up. I was kind of getting bored in some scenes. So yeah, that's pretty much my cons. Other than that, the movie was fantastic.
I loved it a lot. I can say I loved it a lot better than the first one, and it's going to be in my list of one of the best movies of the year. And I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10.
To me, it's also better than the first one. I'm going to have to say I'm going to go 8 out of 10 on this one.
Well, we hope you all check out The Conjuring 2, and if you like what you see here, you can check us out at Film Freaks here on YouTube, and you can check us out on our Facebook page as well.
Yep. Leave a comment, subscribe, and we're going to keep up going. We're going to do some retrospecting movies.
And we're going to also, in the meantime, before the next movies come out that we're going to be reviewing, we'll leave some editorial videos as well, and some other things you can check out on our Facebook page as well. So we hope you all check out Conjuring 2, and we shall see you guys later.